The Indianapolis 500 is just a weekend away. Tonight at Lucas Oil Stadium, a pair of teams that are racing towards the top of the standings in the USL's Eastern Conference. Bethlehem Steel FC and the Indy 11. The Indy 11 currently in a playoff position. They are tied for 5th, and they have played just 8 matches so far on the season. For Bethlehem Steel FC, this is their 10th match. They are currently in 9th, and you see that line. They are 1 point out of a playoff spot. Top team in the Eastern Conference, FC Cincinnati, not in your picture. Your match commentators now are in your picture. Brad Hodder and Greg Rakestraw. Thank you for joining us for Indy 11 Soccer on My Indy TV. Both teams played on Wednesday. For the Indy 11, it was a loss in U.S. Open Cup play in Mississippi. For Bethlehem Steel FC, it was a league match and probably their best performance of the season. They scored 3 times against New York Red Bulls 2, had 3 different goal scorers in an impressive victory.
Yeah, they were explosive. They were dynamic. Now, New York did not press effectively, and Bethlehem took advantage of it.
Mache Galena got his first professional goal. He did 2 things in the month of April. He turned 18 and signed his first professional contract. The goal and the celebration were both world class.
Oh, they were. I mean, he just set that shot up beautifully, but how do you talk about it? That's incredible.
Second half goals by Fabian Herbers as well as by Andy Najum. What we're not showing you, though, is what they did from a defensive standpoint. It was the first clean sheet of the season for Bethlehem.
Yeah, and we'll see how well that travels. Their confidence hopefully is up.
Clean sheets have not been an issue for the Indy 11. They have 5 so far in 8 league matches, and it's more than just Owain Fawn Williams. Defensively, they've been fantastic as well, led by Carl Wabek.
I'd say the thing that's been most impressive is his ability to adjust his game, not only week to week, but sometimes in-game, going from a target player to a crafty, pacey player.
First of 3 meetings this season between the Indy 11 and Bethlehem Steel FC, and first time that the Indy 11 have played an affiliate club this year. The Steel, the top bar club of the Philadelphia Union. Opening kickoff comes your way next. We thank you for watching Indy 11 Soccer. If you ever wondered what 102 appearances for your club looks like documented, there it is in TIFO right there, the north end of the stadium. Brad Ring tied in the last home match the record appearance for the club at 101, set the record on Wednesday in the U.S. Open Cup match. Tonight is his 103rd appearance in club history. Congratulations to the last remaining original member of the Indy 11 in Brad Ring. And he is in the starting lineup presented by Honda Manufacturers of Indiana. And he is back in his traditional role playing midfielder. Team wanted to kind of give Nico Mattern a bit of a break. So Ring goes back to playing that holding midfielder role, which also allows Kevin Venegas to go back to starting at right back. And Sooney Saad playing at midfield makes the lineup a bit more explosive.
It does. The way that Sooney serves that ball from the flank, he's going to be a lot more effective out there. And then you've got Justin Braun, who can go and chase down the other end of it when it comes in the air.
The starting lineup for Bethlehem Steel FC. Lots of goal scorers. They're a team. They have scored 14 goals this year. 11 different players have scored those goals. And the guys that scored those goals on Wednesday on the lineup in Galena, Herbers, and Najim as well. Matthew Mahoney, defender. He is the only player that has played in every minute so far this season for Bethlehem Steel FC.
It's in his DNA. He's an Iron Man going back to college. He played every match of his entire college career.
So we are underway for Indy 11 soccer here on My Indy TV. Indy 11 2-0-2 so far at home. A pair of losses to FC Cincinnati. Victories against Nashville SC on April the 14th, and their last match here, a 1-0 victory on a penalty by Ioze in the closing minutes to hand at the time the defending league champs their only loss of the season. Lou City then dropped their next game last weekend as well. And right now there is rather remarkable parity in the Eastern Conference, and you saw it in the standings to open the match as Brad Ring makes his trademark tackle in the midfield early in this match. But there are a grand total of 5 points that separate the top 8 teams right now in the Eastern Conference. Time now for our keys to this match. They are presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11.
For the 11, it's execution. You know, there's no shortage of creativity and chances in the final third, but they have to sharpen the consistency of execution in and around the box. And then effective and efficient press. Use your experience and tactical IQ to press and try to shorten the field. For Bethlehem, match the energy of Wednesday night. It was a big rivalry match for them, so lots of organic energy and excitement. Can they match it? Lucas Oil Stadium will help with that, but that's one of the concerns always with a young team, and they need to be quick in transition today. They're young, they've got pace. They need to get out on the break before the 11 can press.
This is the 10th match of the season for Bethlehem Steel FC. 6 have been played at home in Bethlehem at Goodman Field. That is the home for the Lehigh University football team as well. So this is their 4th road match. In their 3 previous road matches, they have lost all 3. 0 road points so far for Bethlehem Steel. Lewis on the right side. Sends it to the top of the 6.
What an opportunity.
Sooney Saad, ball falls at his feet, can do anything with it, and then Saad is ruled to have fouled, and the possession goes to Bethlehem. Time now for our injury report presented by Community Health Sports Medicine, official sports medicine provider of the Indy 11. And it is lengthy. Tyler Pasher, Ben Lundgaard, Eugene Starikoff, Heiner Ferreira, Matt Watson, not even listed on there. All those players out tonight. And we have now seen Pasher out for the last couple of weeks after he played the first 6 matches of the season.
Yeah, I'll tell you, that opportunity that just developed right there, that was from a ball from Sooney Saad. Just an absolute laser to the feet of Justin Braun, knocked out to Nathan Lewis. But that combination, if they can find the feet, collapse the defense, and punch it out wide, is going to be effective tonight.
We have seen Saad play a little bit of midfield at times this year, and again, it's just trying to get some more potency with the Indy 11 attack. Scoring goals has been a problem. They have 7 so far this year. Thankfully, they've been so good defensively, only having giving up goals in 3 of their 8 matches so far. They've still been successful with it, but the last time they had a goal in the run of play was May 2nd against FC Cincinnati.
Yeah, and there's a couple things you get concerned about as a coach. You know, one is, are you creating chances? And the other is, are you finishing chances? And, you know, they both have a level of difficulty, but one of those is solved. The 11 are creating dangerous chance after dangerous chance. So now it comes down to the execution. And some of that's focus, some of that's repetition in practice, and some of that's just luck. And there's been a couple crossbars hit, a couple of great saves.
Wine Williams in net for the Indy 11. He has played every minute of every match so far this season. That includes the U.S. Open Cup game on Wednesday in Mississippi. Team really couldn't train on Thursday because of traveling back from Mississippi. So light work before this one, going for glory from distance is Suni Saad.
Count that. What is that? He hit it from the 35.
That's the 35, yes.
That's impressive.
A little further out than his free kick goal against Nashville SC from a similar distance.
Right, but I tell you, when he hit it to where the keeper was, there was a little pocket he could have put it in.
Jake McGuire in goal for Bethlehem. This is his 5th appearance of the season. 8 saves, 7 goals allowed. The Steel are 1-3 in his 4 previous starts. He splits time with John McCarthy. McCarthy got the call on Wednesday in the 3-0 victory against the New York Red Bulls. And we touched on this briefly in the pregame show. Again, this is the first direct affiliate club that the Indy 11 have played. Even though they don't share the name of the Philadelphia Union, this is a fully owned team by the Philadelphia Union. So with that, that's why the Bethlehem Steel, as Williams races out to knock this ball towards the seats. That's why they did not play in the U.S. Open Cup. That's why they played the Red Bulls 2 on Wednesday in a league match. Indy will have future games against similar opponents in Red Bulls 2, Toronto FC 2, and Atlanta United 2, all part of the Eastern Conference.
And these teams present some unique challenges that you won't see through, you know, the teams in league play that are, you know, the Louisvilles, the Cincinnatis, the Indy 11s, is that because they're affiliated with the MLS club, they've got a roster that is just huge. So there's never a depth problem with injuries. But the difficult part about it, I was talking to Coach Burke, and he says, you know, sometimes Philadelphia needs a guy to get a game, and they'll send him down. There's no training. He's got to figure out a way to get him in the lineup and get the guys all synced up on the same page. And one of the challenges he mentioned, too, was in his 69 games with Bethlehem, he's been able to roll out the same roster twice.
Steinberger looking for Lewis. Aubrey. Then the clearance ricochets off a Bethlehem player. Venegas jumps into the attack, trying to keep it going. There are 3 different kind of levels of contracts of players that you will see for Bethlehem tonight. There are players on a Philadelphia Union deal. Herbers, we'll finish that story in a moment. Herbers deflected, and thankfully it turned right to Owain Von Williams. Ouimet challenged by Herbers, who was a goal scorer on Wednesday.
Almost from that same kind of ball there.
Fabian is from Germany, but played collegiately at Creighton, so he has played in Indianapolis before. As an opponent, probably he played against Zach Steinberger during his days at Butler University. So Braun looking for his first goal of the season after having 15 the last 2 years combined. Suni Saad goes to the turf, asks for the foul, doesn't get it. And the next whistle might be the first in this game. Good pressure applied by Apodaca. Mitchell off his foot. It'll be a throw-in coming for Bethlehem.
I thought he had won that ball.
I see Carlisle Mitchell, one of 2 Trinidad and Tobagans on the field for the Indy 11. Nathan Lewis being the other.
Well, that's one of the things that last opportunity by Apodaca that goes into the memory banks of Mitchell and Ouimet, because he is he's tenacious on the ball. So a ball that comes back to either of the 2, he's going to press and he's going to be relentless in that. So they got to move the ball quickly between their back 2.
With the ball played into space, we kind of finish that story on Bethlehem. So there are players here that are on Philadelphia Union contracts, players that are on Bethlehem contracts, and then players that are a part of their academy program. They've got a little number guide. So if the player is numbered between 36 and 49, he's on a Bethlehem deal.
Oh my goodness, what a ball by Iose.
33 or lower, they play for the Union. 50 or above, Braun has an opportunity. Can't slide it past. Lewis, rebound, still is loose. Finally cleared away, but not out of danger yet. Venegas sends it in. Headed down by a Bethlehem player. And now the counter is on for the Bethlehem Steel. Galena bounces into Mitchell. Again, no whistle given.
I like the no call. I think it's the right decision.
A pair of Bethlehem players down. Lewis also does not get a whistle. And finally, Bethlehem will play this ball off to the side. And now we will check on the bodies on the floor for the visiting team. By the way, our official is Elvis Osmanovich, is our referee for tonight's match. And I want to mention him here because we may not mention the rest of the game, given some of the stuff he's let go so far.
And that, you know, I'm fine with it. I think that was an opportunity that Justin Braun would like back. It's a great save. And that whole opportunity came off of a dart that Ayoze hit across the field to Nathan Lewis.
Braun had an ankle injury. Take a listen there. You can see why the player is down behind the plate for Bethlehem. Braun only played 2 games in the second half of last season and just hasn't found that rhythm yet this year. He's starting to get more regular minutes. He started in the Open Cup match on Wednesday. Also started last week in the 0-0 draw against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds on the road. But just still doesn't have that rhythm he had each of the last 2 years.
And it's tough. I mean, it's tough to find your rhythm from the end of one season to the beginning of preseason. I mean, you're trying to recover some injuries. You're trying to, you know, get your mind right and get into training. But it's tough to get game in. So it's really difficult to get your rhythm when you roll into preseason camp. Now you roll it back another 4 to 5 months with an injury, and you're having to go through rehab, and you're not able to touch a ball, and you have to spend so much time just getting your body right. It's going to take him even longer than it would normally take for a guy that rolls into preseason.
Head coach Martin running his first year with the Indy 11, formerly of the Vancouver Whitecaps, the Carolina Railhawks. Prior to that, as well as 3 years as a head coach in South Korea. So the player that is down, Prosper Chaluya, was the injured player that will re-enter when given the opportunity. Head coach Brendan Burke, he has been the head coach for all 3 seasons of Bethlehem Steel FC football. They made the playoffs last year as the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference. And as you can tell, they're just outside of that position currently, but it is very much a compacted Eastern Conference standing, with Louisville having lost the last couple of times out.
And you look at the standings and how important this is for an early season game. You know, if the 11 come away with the 3 points, that puts them even with FC Cincinnati at the top of the table. If Bethlehem pulls the 3 points, they actually pass Indy 11, are in 5th place.
Chaluya back on the pitch. Lewis, and that'll be a foul on Chaluya. So here comes the set piece for the Indy 11. And you've got options. Not really a ball where Saad can go on frame from here, but you would expect Ayoze potentially to steer something the direction of several targets inside of the 18.
I think you look at the height and the ability in the air of Ouimet and Mitchell, and then you throw Justin Braun back in and makes you got 3 guys that can go up and get a ball. If you can drive an effective ball, you know, right at the edge of the 6, and you've got 3 guys that can go up and get it, you can effectively frame the goal and cover the front, the middle, and the back post.
It won't be Ayoze. He will stay back defensive. Looks like Kevin Venegas will offer the serve here from his right back position. Venegas, the former member of Minnesota United, spent last year in Major League Soccer in the Loons' first season in MLS.
Critical piece is you've got to get it past those first defenders.
A little conversation here between a defender and a player. Looks like Justin Braun is being summoned to the principal's office here as well. He and Brandon Aubrey. A little too much contact for the referee's liking. Aubrey played his collegiate soccer at Notre Dame. Venegas looking for the back post. Off the post,
my goodness.
But foul was called. Even if it had gone, it would not have counted, as Braun's search for that season-opening goal continues.
Well, I tell you, you can see why they selected Venegas on that. That was a lethal ball. Perfectly driven. Eliminates the goalkeeper.
I don't think that was foul worthy, but frankly, it did not matter. It would have been a goal kick regardless to the Bethlehem Steel. The Sports of the Match presented by Community Health Sports Medicine, keeping athletes at the top of their game. Visit eCommunity.com/sports. Good pressure applied by Steinberger. Plays it back to Venegas, the two natives of Southern California. Steinberger in his second stint with the Indy 11. 3 years removed from the last time he played for the team. Venegas, not out of danger yet. Derek Jones, the ball at his feet, slides it over to Galena. Santi Moar on the cross. Goal kick coming.
Wow, great
first
build-up.
Threatening moment for Bethlehem Steel FC.
Great build-up. And you take a look, everybody in the league saw Galena's goal from Wednesday night. He gets the ball in virtually the same place, and you're thinking, is he going to pull the trigger on the same ball? Doesn't play like an 18-year-old. He gives that ball up into a better opportunity for Bethlehem.
And he had Von Williams beat to Jones. Just steered it wide. Von Williams leaning towards his left, trying to cover the open side. Left the near post open. So both teams have now missed an opportunity. The Indy 11 have missed a couple. Braun goes hard to the turf. Foul is called against Aubrey. And Braun clutching the right side of his head.
Well, you had a conversation with Aubrey earlier, and right after you had the conversation with Braun and Aubrey, they went back in. Aubrey again started pulling Braun, and they started getting into it again. So, this goes into that, referee's database of, hey, okay, who do I need to watch this game? And so, this conversation is probably the last one without a card. Oh, never mind. The last conversation was the last one without a card.
Well, you can see it on the replay, and you and I didn't catch it at first, but the replay had it clearly that there was an elbow that got up, if not except an elbow that got up. And whether the referee saw that immediately or conveniently had a giant jumbotron behind him as he was talking to the defender, maybe those two things add up to give the first yellow of the match. Goes to Brandon Aubrey for Bethlehem Steel FC.
That's an interesting thing. I wonder if, as coaches we're taught, where to stand and how to position yourself with sun and some of the other distractions that could be behind you. I wonder if in the officials' training, if they're taught to, hey, talk to the player where you can see the replay board.
If not, that memo's going out from this point forward.
Because I tell you
here
what,
in this building.
As you can have a nice, calm conversation, you can double check, hey, did I see what I thought I saw?
It's like unofficial video assistant referee, little VAR action here at Lucas Oil.
Who do I tweet about that? Can you get me some numbers or connect me with the right people?
I'll hook you. So Venegas again to steer this one. Indy 11 playing a man down with Braun on the sidelines. Trainer and team doctor having a conversation. Player goes down for the Indy 11. Did not see what the origin of the issue was. But before the restart, a player lying on the turf for Indy. Look at the very top of the screen. That was two players both kind of extending arms when they shouldn't have. Bizo is the player that was involved for Philadelphia. And Suni Saad, the player that goes down. Braun awaits to re-enter, and Suni Saad may have to do the same. And now Venegas told to restart play. And he'll be told to stop again. There's going to be another conversation take place here. Now here we go. We'll play it out wide. Ioze able to keep it in play, but Venegas may have overcooked that one just a little bit.
Yeah, I like the thought behind it is move the defense twice in that and see if you can find an opportunity in one of the shifts that opens up. But it was just hit a little bit too far. I'm sure you wanted it at Ioze's feet where he could drive a ball back across.
And Steinberger whistled for the foul. Just a reminder, fans, you can tune into Soccer Saturday every Saturday morning on 107.5 FM and 1070 The Fan. This week our guest, head coach Martin Running, the former GM of the Indy 11, Peter Wilt. He is back with a professional soccer team, the soon-to-be USL Division III team in Madison, Wisconsin. And from the television team of the Philadelphia Union, former voice of the Bethlehem Steel, Dave Leno. All available on the podcast page now at 1070thefan.com. Galena trying to weave his way through traffic. Mitchell knocks that ball to midfield. Braun could not settle. Quick restart coming here for Bethlehem Steel. These two teams will play twice more this year. In fact, the home finale for the Indy 11, at least during the regular season here at Lucas Oil Stadium, will come against Bethlehem on October the 6th. The two teams will play in Pennsylvania July 26th, a midday match at 11:30 a.m. McInerney will track this down before it crosses the sideline. Trying to find Braun, finds its way to Saad. Saad trying to free up some space and couldn't do it. With good pressure by Saad, wins it back. Tried to leave it for Lewis. Eventually Lewis will recover. Lewis with the left foot. Looked good until he let it go.
And you talk about the two more times these teams will face each other and how chippy this has gotten in the last 10 minutes with a bunch of pushing, and it almost has kind of that recipe of a rivalry, except because they're affiliated with the Union, you don't know if these are the same guys they're going to be in those other matches.
This segment of the match is brought to us by the Root Place. Get it all at the Root Place.
What a touch.
One thing that's evident about this Philadelphia or this Bethlehem squad, and given the fact they're going to play primarily younger players, being an affiliated club as Galena makes contact with Lewis, you can see where there's some prospects here, so to speak, because they all look the part. They're big and they're physical.
Yeah, they're athletic, they're fast. You look at the one-touch game, the way they're moving off of each other, it's impressive.
Galena with the foul. He is from the Congo, again signed on April the 25th. So if the players playing in this game for Bethlehem, the countries in Africa of Zambia, Cameroon, and Congo all represented on the field.
And think about Galena. Galena's 18, just turned 18 last month,
April
right?
6th. Yep.
Okay, so he's 17 years old. He leaves the Congo at 17 to say, I'm going to go to the United States to become a professional player. And it happens. Now, granted, he had a pretty good resume in the Congo, but at 17, would a Greg Rakestraw say, hey, I'm going to go over to the UK and I'm going to start calling games in the Premier League?
Well, going from Harrison County to Indianapolis, that was almost like going to a foreign country for me, so I somewhat understand. So the trainers for both sides have had a lot of time on the pitch so far. These two teams have not been shy about contact with one another.
You got the roof open. It's a little bit humid. You might need to make sure the trainers stay hydrated. They're going to cramp up here.
Brian Gerlach getting his steps in tonight and getting his requisite camera time as well. And this is the second set piece that the Indy 11 had played with a man down.
I kind of like this position on this, the way that Venegas can serve a ball. If he can drop it right at the edge of the 18 and you got Braun running on it.
Goalkeeper's pretty good read on that one in McGuire. You can get a player's perspective on all the action around the USL every Wednesday as Tampa Bay Rowdies' Jack Blake hosts the Blake Down. That is on the USL's YouTube channel. By the way, the Rowdies got an early goal from Lance Roseboom. Take a 1-0 lead against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds at Al Lang Stadium. Tampa Bay made a coaching change at midweek, letting go of Stuart Campbell, who had been with them since 2015. Replaced him with a defender on the team, Neil Collins, becoming the head coach of the Rowdies. Mitchell there to intercept that. Ouimet back to cover. Apodaca 4-2-3-1, the formation by the Bethlehem Steel. Braun just couldn't get that pass away to Lewis. Pressure applied by Prosper Chaluya. Players like Aubrey Mahoney, Galena, Herbers, all were starters in Wednesday's victory for the Bethlehem Steel. Santi Mawar appeared as a reserve. Braun walking that tightrope, and Aubrey will give the corner. First corner of the match for the Indy 11. Venegas will take it.
And you looked at the free kick that Venegas sent in, that Braun hit off the post, and misplayed a little bit by McGuire. He came out for a ball that he didn't get, left things open on the backside. So maybe you drop another ball into that back post and see what happens.
That's the way he was looking, headed down, but not on goal by the Indy 11. Wimet got there first. Long distance ball to Apodaca. He'll track it down with Ioze and Ring in tow.
Oh, he's got some pace.
Herbers just couldn't keep the ball at his feet. And Venegas now launching McInerney, who got back on side. Braun heading towards the 6. McInerney plays it behind Braun instead of forward to him.
And I kind of like the way that was setting up. You got a 1v1 with McInerney on Bizo, and I would have loved for him to take that instead of trying to send the ball into Braun in a 1-on-3.
Foul whistled against Venegas. Venegas did not make his season debut with the Indy 11 until the match in Charlotte, April the 28th. Dealing with a thigh injury. He was one of the first players signed in the offseason by the Indy 11. He and Brad Russin were some of the early signees. Russin is the only defensive player listed as a possible substitution tonight for Martin Rennie's squad. Other subs available: Jordan Farr, Nico Mater, and Juan Guerra, Seth Moses, Amos Amankona, and Ben Speeds. Venegas tracking back to pick that one up. Quick turnaround for both these teams, and a much different playing surface and playing conditions for Bethlehem Steel. They play on natural grass at home in Bethlehem, and they played on a wet Wednesday afternoon. Thick grass, and ball didn't exactly roll too much in that game on Wednesday. Quite the opposite here. And Wimet did a great job of getting in the way of Herbers.
Just a smart play.
Wimet spent last year with the now defunct, but then NASL champion San Francisco Deltas. We saw Wimet play with the Jacksonville Armada before that. Spent time with the New York Red Bulls and the Montreal Impact. Did Wimet in his younger days, just breaking in as a pro, but doing so at the Major League Soccer level.
Love that. I think, you know, it speaks to the development, homegrown, the program with the MLS. He was the first kid from the Montreal Academy to make it up to the first team.
Suni Sa,
great
Ioze in support. Braun wants it back post. Braun got to it, but couldn't keep it on frame.
Great run. I tell you, Ioze is so dangerous when he comes up, and in that situation, Bethlehem had packed in and tried to compress play with numbers, and that gave the space to Ioze.
Fans, you can show your Indy 11 pride and get your exclusive Indiana Members Credit Union Indy 11 debit card at any Indiana Members Credit Union branch or online at imcu.com. Venegas committed to the run to get there and didn't. Opportunity here. Ioze makes a business decision and lets that ball roll across the sideline for a throw-in. Here's Brad Ring, his 103rd appearance with the Indy 11. Equaled Don Smart's club record of 101 last Friday in Pittsburgh.
Good leave. Well, it's coming from an 18-year-old kid. Just understanding the space in the play.
Braun with Lewis to his left. And McInerney and Braun for the second time. One time going each direction not on the same page on the run. A wide Fawn Williams will track this down. There have 0-0 draws the last 2 times the Indy 11 have been on the road. They have still, this is a remarkable stat, have yet to allow a road goal this season. 2 wins and 2 draws for the Indy 11. They actually have more points on the road than they do at home. Lewis is onside. The ball for Brad Ring. Sod streaking in the middle of the field, and Lewis, I don't think that's what he wanted to do with it.
No, great recognition. Chaluye jumped up. Ring saw that the space was open, dropped the ball in for Nathan Lewis, and that ball needs to go across the box.
Sometimes you get crossed up between a cross and a shot. That was what that was for Lewis. So Brad Ring wearing the captain's armband again tonight. He and Matt Watson have held that responsibility this season. Off of Ouimet, throw-in coming for the Bethlehem Steel.
I tell you, he's had such a classy run here in his time with the 11. But you take a look at what the Brickyard Battalion did by putting a TIFO up for every one of the matches that Brad Ring has played in. That's such a classy move as well.
Peter Evans helps lead that effort for the Brickyard Battalion in terms of TIFO design. There was some serious man hours that went into that this week.
Do you realize the planning that goes into that?
And Mike Williams up there on the capo stand. Ball out of play for the 11th throw in. The sports of this match presented by Honda Manufacturers of Indiana, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Some much needed time off in terms of just playing next weekend for the Indy 11 after a very busy opening stretch in the month of May. McInerney looks to make the turn. Bizo on his hip. Decides to settle and then gives it away. Not the pass he was looking to make.
No, you can't get caught in this.
Galena lifts it up for Apodaca.
Great.
Venegas recovers.
Great recovery.
Corner coming, and a couple of attaboys directed by teammates towards Kevin Venegas.
I tell you, there's too much pace. There's too much speed with Bethlehem to give them the opportunities on the counter, especially on a turnover like that.
First corner, and Lewis there to get in the way. We'll do it one more time. Najim, who had one of the goals on Wednesday, taking the corner. He played at collegiate soccer powerhouse Akron. They have had 11 different players score goals this year, have Bethlehem. Steinberger trying to work his way out of danger and inadvertently gives the ball away.
I tell you, great defensive positioning by Najim. You got Nathan Lewis coming out on the break, and he jumped into the lane, so Steinberger couldn't get that ball into the space for Lewis.
Another good read by Venegas. You can make the case he's been the man of the match so far for the Indy 11. Good read by Ioze. Steinberger, long distance ball looking for McInerney, but just a bit too strong. McGuire read it well off his line to track it down. McInerney last scored against FC Cincinnati on May 2nd. He is one of 3 players with a pair of goals this year for the Indy 11. He, Suni Sod, and Ioze. Ioze's have both been from the spot on penalties. Mawar works his way around ring. The volley not on frame. Santi Mawar has appeared in all 10 games this year for the Bethlehem Steel. 5 starts and 5 appearances as a reserve. He entered as a reserve in Wednesday's victory against Red Bulls 2. Ouimet dispossessed by Apodaca and then gets it right back. Now Steinberger. Right touch to Venegas. And the Indy 11 will slow things down just a bit. Select is the official soccer ball of the USL. For the latest Select products and special offers, visit www.selectsportamerica.com. Receive free shipping orders over $50. Whoa. We have seen it before. Saad has no problem firing from distance. McGuire plays it off the side. Corner coming for the Indy 11.
I'll tell you, the tough thing, too, is when that ball leaves his foot, it moves different than most of the players in the league. So it always causes some problems for the goalkeeper.
This is the camera work of my buddy Adam Good, and I gave him a little bit of a tip. It was his first game here. He said, just watch the movement off of 14. Be ready when the ball is at his feet. As that'd be State's Exhibit A right there. Iose sends it in. Mitchell got ahead to it. Good pressure by Braun, but does commit the foul. Another opportunity that slides by for the Indy 11. Mentioned the fact that Saad has scored twice. Those both came in the same game. He had both goals in the 2-1 victory against Nashville SC on April the 14th. Suni hails from Dearborn, Michigan. And spent 5 of the last 7 years in the Sporting Kansas City organization, either playing with KC or their USL affiliate club. A very similar situation here to Bethlehem for the Swope Park Rangers. Steinberger to McInerney.
Great ball, great look.
Saad couldn't track it down. And yet again, those touches in the final third still lacking for the Indy 11.
Oh, such great buildup right there.
Nigel plays it right side. On the cross here, Fawn Williams makes that look relatively easy. By the way, this portion of the match presented by Turkish Airlines. Widen your world. Lewis. Good cross here. McInerney tried to steer it to Braun and just couldn't connect with him. The hustle by Ring, but Moar keeps the ball. Mitchell connecting with Lewis. Lewis, one touch to settle. Second touch towards the back post, a bit too far, but McInerney will keep the attack alive. Bizo providing pressure for Bethlehem. With space to operate, Brad Ring thought about giving it a go and then draws the foul from Santi Mawar. And this could be Suni Saad territory, and as we speak, he's stepping up over the ball to have a look at it from 30+ yards out.
Yeah, this is, you know, a lot of times when a guy's taking a restart and he tries to grab an extra yard or two, you're like, what's the big deal? You're 35 yards out. How much? In this situation, if he can grab an extra yard when he's setting that ball down, which I think they did because I thought it was at the 36, 37. Who knows?
While we are in a football stadium, I will make a basketball analogy. Some players have in the gym range. That is what Suni Saad has. McInerney the touch with the blast from Saad. Well read by McGuire.
I tell you, that is because the ball moves off of his foot, so you can't disconnect from it. So I think it was Pickens with Nashville who got changed up on a similar restart like that and just was going the wrong way, and the ball just took this wicked spin.
This portion of the match also presented by the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. Take your business to the next level in a state that works. Steinberger with the good sliding tackle. Chaluya with the restart. And Moir with the high boot. Let's see if that's enough to earn the second card of the night for the Union.
Yeah, the tough part, he's coming down with the bottom of his foot as Mitchell's coming up.
And Santi would like to play for the Philadelphia Union. The Bethlehem Steel. My apologies. Good win by Sooney Sott. Slides it to Braun. The lead for Steinberger. Another lead for Lewis. Lewis on the cross. Everything but the last touch right now for the Indy 11. Lewis with the left foot. Braun tried to let it get through. Ring.
Oh my goodness.
He's good for a goal a year. Looking for his first of 2018. Thought it was deflected. Official says no.
Has he scored one in the box? That's about that was kind of building up to be a Brad Ring goal right there, wasn't it?
We saw all 4 of his Indy 11 goals in the highlight package honoring him before the game. I think the one in Ottawa in 2016 was. I think that's the one. The rest of them have all been from outside.
Oh.
And that's a foul.
Yeah, Apodaca, you got to limit his touches.
And Mitchell will see a card, and he understands that. Had to take it. Would have been an opening on goal if he had not given the foul. So set piece opportunity here, and Carlisle. Mitchell will pick up the yellow. By the way, the final 5 minutes plus stoppage time of the first half presented by your Central Indiana Honda Dealers, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Several Bethlehem players standing over this one. It appears that Najim will be the one that will give it a go. No, it's Herberts. And Herberts, great looking shot that Von Williams has to knock away for a corner.
Wow, what a hit.
Up and over the wall.
It's a great save by Williams, but what a hit by Herberts.
Herberts looking for his second goal in 4 days. Steinberger got a boot to it. Ioze helps, and then Lewis sweeps it across the field looking for Sooney Sott. Throw in coming here for the Indy 11.
And that's when you got to think Aubrey wants back. Just let that ball go out of play and get your shape back.
Now Lewis, McInerney trying to find some space, being closed down by Aubrey.
Whoa.
And a vicious tackle from Aubrey. McInerney goes down into a heap, and that is a dangerous play right there. Another free kick coming. And that needs to be a card, frankly, as simple as that.
Would that be his second?
I don't think so. We're seeing no sign of a card yet. But you're right, he had the extended elbow. You're right, he did.
So if it's not a card here, he's got to adjust his game, because if he continues to play the way that he has through this first 43 minutes, his next opportunity, his next clash is going to bring the yellow.
So Aubrey stays in the game, but again, he is playing with a yellow. That was from the extended elbow.
He's playing on an orange right now.
Yeah.
That yellow is starting to shade a bit.
Ioze with the left foot. Steinberger, Lewis, and Ring. Ioze couldn't control it. Now an opportunity for a counter. Numbers here for Bethlehem. It's Herberts, Venegas back, leaves it for Moir. Moir closed down by Ring.
A recovery.
And Fawn Williams is there.
Great buildup. That was lining up to be almost the same goal that Herbers had on Wednesday night. Gives the ball to Moir, and what a recovery by Brad Ring.
Some closing speed by the fifth-year Indy 11 player. Now a little space for Carlisle Mitchell. Fans, you can keep up to date with all the best social media from around the league as Kelsey Steele hosts Off the Post every Friday through the league's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram feeds.
Nathan Lewis has been just a little bit off. Serves have been, haven't quite gotten through. The extra touch hasn't been there.
By the way, 3 minutes of stoppage time, what we're looking at here for the end of half number one. Apodaca couldn't weave his way through the midfield. And again, a rough challenge from Bethlehem.
So you get no time on the ball with Bethlehem.
On the restart, long distance ball goes to McInerney. And now Saad. Najim read it well and manages to keep it in play. Now Steinberger. McInerney.
Clever.
Right idea. Saad gets there eventually. Mahoney got there first. Ioze. Working around Mahoney. Saad looking for Braun, couldn't get it there. Opening minute of 3 before we get to halftime. If you're Martin Rennie, what's your thoughts right now going to halftime?
I think you got to stay. You got to keep out of the counter, whether it's on a turnover or sometimes I think it happened off of a corner or another restart. They loaded up the box and didn't win the ball on the back end of it. And Bethlehem was at the top of the 18 that they had to defend in transition. And Bethlehem is just too quick right now that you got to stay out of the counter game. And sometimes it means you got to press higher up the field so that they can't deliver. Because right now, when they win the ball on the back line, they're looking to ping a ball in to Apodaca.
And that'll be a corner. Chance to throw some numbers forward here late. Braun will park inside of the 6. Mitchell and Wimette will work their way forward as well. Venegas,
good ball,
headed by Wimette, couldn't get it down. It's been a common issue for the Indy 11 this season. They really have not done much. Set pieces have looked good. Corners, right, not so much. McGuire not exactly in a hurry for the restart here. Braun couldn't slide it through to Lewis. Aubrey closes him down yet again. Venegas, a grade A jersey tug, didn't get called. Advantage being played. Wimette cuts down the angle on the pass for Apodaca.
He played that perfectly. He baited him into that ball and just sat in the lane and picked it off.
Left foot, and Williams didn't have to lay a finger to it. And that will be the end of first half festivities. A very evenly played first half, a half where teams both had chances, but both have zeros on the board.
Yeah, I tell you, I think the 11 are finding some great opportunities out wide with both Lewis and McInerney, and they're in 1v1 situations. I'd love to see those guys maybe, instead of serving that ball early, maybe take the player off the dribble, see if you can slide another defender out of the middle, and then lay that ball in.
Scoring opportunities, yet to have any scores converted through 45 minutes at Lucas Oil Stadium. It's the Indy 11 0, the Bethlehem Steel 0. We're back in a moment on My Indy TV. Indy 11 Soccer is brought to you by Community Health, exceptional care simply delivered. Community Health Network. By Honda, proud to be the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. By Turkish Airlines, widen your world. By The Root Place, get it all at The Root Place. In terms of highlights, no goals yet in the opening 45 minutes between Indy and Bethlehem. But when you've got a league as vast and wide as the USL, it's not exactly a problem to find highlights to bring you at halftime. So here you go, the best of week number 9 in the USL.
A couple of moves inside the area.
Curls it in. Oh, what a strike from the captain! The Ram is in! Jesus Enriquez!
Drogba blast! And what a world-class goal that is from Didier Drogba!
Stutter step. Cavaluzzo!
Saved by Mizell!
Into the penalty area for 3, Frater! And a fantastic save produced by Matt Van Oekel. Incredible save.
Kelly from distance. And Mizell has reversed.
It's a good ball to the back post. Gordon Wiles there, and what a strike from the German.
Zubak has a break on goal. He's looking to put the Galaxy on top 1-0, and he does. Ethan Zubak.
Go looking to cross, does. Low cross, punched away. Takes a shot. Now battle in the box, shot it in! Kelly! Dave Kelly!
Side last on the pocket, back to the header, score!
Cross into the middle for Williamson.
An impressive week in the United Soccer League, no doubt about that. Fun one so far, no goals yet. Kind of feel it's a matter of time for these two teams, Indy 11 and Bethlehem Steel FC. Alongside Brad Hodder, Greg Rakestraw with you. Overall impressions here of half number 1.
It was an exciting first half. I thought both teams created some opportunities, two very different styles, so it's going to be interesting to see what kind of adjustments are made here in the locker rooms.
A look at the league standings. Again, we focus on the Eastern Conference. We showed these to you during the course of the pre-match show. Again, FC Cincinnati in there at number 1. We moved 2 through 9 to show you Bethlehem Steel FC. And again, just how compacted that from 1 through 8. 5 points separate the entire Eastern Conference.
Man, you look at Pittsburgh, undefeated, pulling points in every game so far.
By the way, Charleston Battery, they have won 4 consecutive matches. How are they doing this evening? We'll show you. Our out-of-town scoreboard brought to us by Crown Plaza Indianapolis downtown. Let them assist you with your next meeting or event. So, Charleston Batteries, their 4-match winning streak comes to an end. They do get points at home against Ottawa Fury FC. First goal of 3 for FC Cincinnati, scored by former North Carolina player Nazmi Abeldawi. FC Cincinnati has it rolling 3-0. They lead North Carolina. Pittsburgh doesn't give up goals very often. They've given 2, but they have scored 2 as well down at Al Lang Stadium. That is 2-2 in the second. Charlotte a 2-0 lead over Toronto FC 2. And both Louisville City and Atlanta United each have a goal as well. And that, again, is in the second half. Goalless here so far in Indianapolis between Indy 11, Bethlehem Steel FC. More of our halftime show comes your way next. back inside Lucas Oil Stadium. The roof is open for a third consecutive home game for the Indy 11. They look for their third home win of the season. 0-0 so far at halftime. Indy 11, Bethlehem Steel FC. Once again alongside Brad Hodder, Greg Rakestraw. Thank you for joining us for Indy 11 Soccer here on My Indy TV. Two things kind of mark this first half, Brad. That would be chances for both sides and very physical play.
It has been. I think it's one of the maybe it's the short week for both teams. They haven't had much prep time and the travel. 3 games in 8 days, but there is some tension and physicality that we haven't seen so far.
There have been some long distance passes. There has been some space to move down both the flanks for the Indy 11 so far in half number 1.
Yeah, and I think they've taken advantage of it. Iose's been driving balls over to Nathan Lewis. You've got Venegas that is driving balls over and finding McInerney. Now they've got to do something with the last piece of it.
Hawaan Fawn-Williams has been outstanding so far for the Indy 11, and that would be an opportunity the Indy 11 would like to have back, although a foul was called. That goal would not have counted had it remained.
So many great things have come through Galena. I think they need to give him touches higher up the field. Right now, he's your primary release point when you're breaking out from the back line. He needs to be the secondary one so he can get closer to goal.
Suni Saad from distance. A great look that did not go for the Indy 11.
And every time he hits that ball from 30, 35 yards out, you never know what's going to happen.
And as we said, these two teams, despite the fact they've never played against each other, they have been getting after it from seemingly the opening whistle.
It has been. It's been chippy play, and it's not just hard physical stuff on the field, it's stuff after the play as well.
And that play earned a card for Carlisle Mitchell. They're the ones shown so far to the Indy 11. There have been a pair of those so far handed out. Surprisingly, that was not one of them.
Yeah, I think any other time, if you're not carrying a yellow card, that is a card.
That would have been a red card. So here is a look at our match stats. Possession tilted in favor of the Indy 11. More shots for the Indy 11 as well. Fouls are even, and I'm not sure that number is going to go down in half number 2. So you go a look about from a numbers standpoint as to what happened in the first half of play. We'll hear from Martin Rennie coming up in a matter of moments. What do you think his message is to his guys here at halftime?
Well, I think you got to keep encouraging the guys to not get frustrated that it's breaking down in that final third. You are getting out. I mean, there's 9 shots. You're getting the opportunities. Now you've just got to have that extra level of focus to put that ball away. And I think you got to remind them, you got to stay out of the counter. You can't let Bethlehem out on the break. Between Galena, Herbers, and Apodaca, those guys have pace and are relentless.
And Indy 11 entered this match 3 points back of the 2 teams atop the USL, that being FC, or the Eastern Conference, that being FC Cincinnati and the Charleston Battery. The Battery have gotten a point this evening. FC Cincinnati appears on their way to 3 points tonight. So if you're Indy, you're trying to keep pace with FC Cincinnati. Upcoming schedule for the Indy 11. They next play in 8 days when they take on the New York Red Bulls 2. That is on Sunday, May 27th. Next time they are in this building, that will be on May 30th against the Charleston Battery. That is the next midweek home game for the Indy 11. And by the way, following tonight's contest, every game will kick off at 7 at home for the Indy 11. What is interesting is that May has been frenetic. There have been all kinds of games in the month of May for this team. In June, just 4 matches for the Indy 11. There's kind of some time for this group to heal and to maybe take some of the strain from all the travel and matches they have played that have built up these last 3 or 4 weeks.
Well, May's just chaotic in Indy, regardless of what sport you're playing. I think it just rolls from one sport to the next. So if you've been a Hoosier for a while, you just understand that May's chaos and life settles back to some level of normalcy once you hit June.
So the team making their way back onto the pitch for half number 2, led by team captain Brad Ring. In his 103rd appearance in club history, only he and Don Smart are the members of the Century Club for the Indy 11. Good chance that Justin Braun at some point this season will move into 3rd in terms of career appearances for the club.
When do you hit 100? That's going to be coming up. You're a stat guy.
Next year.
Is it next year?
And yes, you know me well. I've been counting. Next year. Absolutely.
Do you know the date? Do you have it circled? Oh,
by the next match.
Would it be June? Would it be...
Well, right now it's time for the Turkish Airlines coaches interview, brought to us by Turkish Airlines, the official international airline of Indy 11 soccer. Turkish Airlines, widen your world. Martin Rennie joins us now. Martin, your thoughts about your team's play in the opening half?
Well, quite a fast tempo game, quite a lot happening both ends of the field. We've had some good chances, a couple we feel like we probably should have put away, but it's too open in the central of midfield, and I think that there's too many turnovers in terms of sometimes it looks good for us breaking, but too often it's good for them. So we need to have better balance in there, more possession through midfield. We've given too many cheap balls away, just a little bit too rushed, so if we could keep our composure, we'll get more chances. We need to take them.
Martin, thanks for the time. We'll talk to you after the match.
Okay.
Head coach Martin Rennie of the Indy 11. Again, that conversation presented by Turkish Airlines. Widen your world. Brad Russin is going to enter at the start of this half for the Indy 11, and it appears he is going to replace Carlisle Mitchell. So Mitchell has had some injuries start to pile up, and that has been a constant theme for this team. Mitchell did not play in the Open Cup match on Wednesday, but also had to exit in the first half of the match in Pittsburgh 8 days ago. So here comes the veteran in Brad Russin. We mentioned earlier is one of the first signees of the offseason, native of Crown Point, Indiana. Second year in a row, a Crown Point native has been on the team. Christian Lomelli last year, Brad Russin this year. More size now to the mix for the Indy 11.
Yeah, and you wonder if that foul late when Mitchell took down Apodaca near the top of the box, if something happened at that point. Apodaca, he's thick. He's a solid player.
That is the only player listed as a defender that was available to sub in for the Indy 11, although Brad Ring could easily slide back if need be.
That's your move if you need something.
Giveaway by Bethlehem results in a throw-in for the Indy 11. Brad Ring playing in the midfield tonight, just trying to give Nico Machern a bit of a break. The rookie find out of Indiana Wesleyan by way of Germany. And remember that Nico played a full season in the fall at the collegiate level. Maybe that wear and tear starting to show on him just a little bit. So Lamette and Russin. Russin for the last 2 years playing for Miami FC in the North American Soccer League. Nervous moment here. Apodaca comes in and takes the ball away. Ring wins it right back. Ioze switches sides the attack to McInerney.
What a touch.
McInerney. Ball caroms his direction. Then he goes down trying to draw the foul. The official has none of it. And a goal kick coming for Bethlehem Steel FC. Of course, McInerney knows, if not Bethlehem Steel, he knows the franchise very well. He made his debut for the Union as a 17-year-old in 2010.
It's ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. Now you got a little flip here. You've got Suni Saad and Nathan Lewis have switched sides, and you wonder if it's just to give them each a little bit different look, see if you can find some success, or if it's something they picked up through the first half.
Lewis tried to slide it through to Steinberger. Ring again with the read. Brad Ring's reading program does not just apply to elementary schools, it also applies to his ability to pick up a ball such as that one.
I don't even know what to say. That's
you can just let it air it out. That's fine.
So gifted.
You can sit there and soak it up. That's fine. It's great to see Brad's wife Julie and their 3 kids on the field before tonight's game, as Brad was honored in the pre-match ceremonies.
And this is one of the things that frustrates you as a coach. You're 2.5 minutes into the half. You come out of the break, and as Coach Rennie talked about, staying away from turnovers in the midfield. There have been 3 turnovers in the midfield in the first 2.5 minutes.
Here's Galena left side. Good closeout by Venegas. We've said that more than once. Steinberger helped sweep the ball away, and somehow that ball stayed in.
Yeah, I have no idea how that happened.
But that ball was heading towards section 116. So 5 players out tonight due to injuries for the Indy 11. You had a 6th that left at halftime in Mitchell. We have bragged on the depth of this team, but it's being strained a bit right now. Bit of a read. McInerney doesn't have the right angle, trying to find a teammate and cannot. And Iose with enough of a nudge to send Herbers to the turf that draws the whistle.
Boy, that developed from about the 40. I don't know if it was Steinberger or Ring that had the ball, but McInerney makes eye contact and just continues his run, doesn't break stride, and the ball is just played over the top and just misplayed by the back line to give a little bite at the apple for McInerney.
Indy 11 looking for their first goal in their last 3 matches. Have not had a goal to run of play in their last 4. Steinberger will flick it outside of the 18. This is Jones, plays over to Najim. Now Bizo.
Great ball.
There's Ring yet again. Lewis gets a touch on it, but the end result is the same. Throw in coming.
Clever little ball by Najim to tuck it into the wing.
The USL's official Twitter feed keeps up to date with news, live game updates, and highlights from around the league. Follow them at USL on Twitter. Herbers plays it across. Galena was the target. Venegas able to knock it free.
And the 11 caught a break there. You come in with a double team, you can't let the ball out of the double team, and certainly if you're going to let the ball out of the double team, it can't be in the most dangerous lane available.
Braun.
Oh, good
To
ball.
Saad. Saad. McGuire is there and then pounces on the rebound.
Good hit, good save, great build-up.
Good read by Braun. And from the last 2 years at Carroll Stadium, he's used to playing on turf, knows it well.
And he just never gives up on anything.
No doubt he always puts in the miles, does Justin. Native of the Salt Lake City area is Braun. Spent time with Chivas USA in Major League Soccer. Back in the USL, where he spent 2 years with Sacramento Republic FC. Saad plays it between Lewis and Braun. This portion of the match presented by Community Health Sports Medicine, keeping athletes at the top of their game. Visit ecommunity.com/sports. Brickyard Battalion in full song here in half number 2. Iose, good tackle. Now leads the attack. Braun's got a little space. He plays to Lewis instead.
Wow.
Lewis on the cutback. Lewis inside of the 18.
Wow. Did you see that ball by Iose?
That's what Iose has done in this country for the last 6 years.
Outside of the foot, little 10-foot bender behind the defender into Lewis's path.
Iose spent the last 5 years in the New York Cosmos. Won 3 championships during his time with that franchise. One of 3 members of the Cosmos on the Indy 11 roster. We haven't seen Eugene Starikoff in a while because of injury. The other being Juan Guerra, who we could easily see as a sub tonight. Well, Lewis has clearly been a focal point here in the second half and gets it right back. McInerney to his right. I don't think that was intended to be a shot on goal.
No, he just nicked it with his right. He was looking to serve it across with his left, just nicked it with his right. And the thought has been there. The right thought has been there.
Turf monster may have gotten him on that one too. Now Herbers tried to slide it past Ioze. Najib. Well defended by Ioze. Saad with a bit of a giveaway, although it's 50 yards away. Misread where Braun was heading at midfield. Santi Moar. Best buildup of the half so far for Bethlehem Steel FC. Jose, the real estate ball back to midfield. Possession so far this half has been in favor of Indy, but an opportunity here. Jones.
Great move. Little too much.
Turf monster got him too. Steinberger looking for Lewis. A bit too strong. The Sports of the Match presented by the Denny Companies, tearing down the past so you can build the future. Well done by Lewis to earn a throw in for the Indy 11. And Steinberger.
Easy call.
Draws the foul on Najib. Steinberger, a former first-round draft pick by the Houston Dynamo in the MLS Super Drafts, with the last 2 years the Jacksonville Armada in the North American Soccer League. And probably has the coolest middle name of anybody on the Indy 11 roster, Wolfgang.
He's pretty cool.
I haven't done formal research on that, but it's hard to top Wolfgang.
I would agree with you. He's a special player. You know, not only is he talented, but everywhere he's gone, the fans and the club love him.
McInerney able to settle it to Russet. Venegas with the service.
Great
Ouimet.
ball.
And having to get a hand to it just in case was McGuire. So a corner coming for the Indy 11, and Ouimet and Russin can now stay forward.
And you know, Bethlehem is so forward thinking that back line is stepping up, that a ball like that from Venegas, you can catch them either with their high back line or as their back line steps quicker than maybe they should, and Venegas almost caught him there.
On the service, side, up and over. This Sports of the Match presented by the Room Place. Get it all at the Room Place. Suni looking for his first Indy 11 goal since April the 14th.
And this is what you talk about.
And foul. Well earned by McInerney.
His level of hustle to turn half chances into something is impressive.
Lewis with the left foot, the cross, right idea, earns the corner. Mahoney got there for the steal.
And between Braun, between Ouimet, between Suni Saad, you've gotten ahead to 3 corner kicks inside the 6 in dangerous spots. Here's one, if you get it, if you can drive that ball in there, McGuire hasn't owned that 6. This has got to be a ball you put away.
Ioze with the service, the left foot. Braun got ahead to it, didn't get all of it. And now Bizo wins the foot race to Steinberger. Great tackle, though, by Venegas to slow the...
Critical tackle, too, because if he doesn't make it, he left his man to go pick up that the ball from Bizo.
Throw-in coming for the Indy 11 as that ball crossed the sideline. Well, the Indy 11 have had the better of it in the second half. But still zeros on the board. And Indy has scored 7 goals in 8 matches this year. They've allowed 5.
Good turn. Whoa.
Some significant skills on display by McInerney. Lewis. Side.
Again.
Steinberger. Nice turn by Steinberger. Just couldn't slide it through. Saad went to ground. Counter opportunity here.
Good chance for Bethlehem.
Onside is Apodaca. Ouimet gives chase. And that will be a throw, not a corner, but a throw in.
That's what's so impressive about Ouimet. He can be a big body and play a blue-collar game in the middle of the field, or he can chase down a pacey, creative forward.
We featured him pre-match, and he has lived up to the billing. Herbers sends it across. Moar the settle, and finds the back of the net. Just slid it past Owen Fawn Williams. Santi Moar with the goal, and Bethlehem Steel take the lead in the 60th minute. For Moar, that is his second goal of the season. Give Herbers the assist. And literally found the foot of space to Moar that Fawn Williams had left at that post. The 6th goal allowed by the Indy 11 this season. Just the 4th time they have allowed a goal in a league match. But now needing to get at least one back to avoid their 3rd home loss in 5 matches so far. Bethlehem Steel trying to back up what was their most impressive performance of the season Wednesday against Red Bulls 2.
And the fact that they've gone, what, 8 matches without a clean sheet, and now they might be rolling out 2 back-to-back.
And doing so with 2 different goalkeepers. Again, their goalkeepers are both signed to union contracts. And so they split time. And McGuire. The player that had the shutout in John McCarthy. Giveaway here. Opportunity here. Galena and Moar. It's Moar. Ouimet with him. Cut. Moar lost the handle. Asking for a foul, won't get it.
Just such brilliant defensive play.
Braun with the flick. Throw-in coming here for Indy. Bethlehem has all 3 substitutions remaining. Indy has 2, having subbed in Brad Russin at halftime. Ioze wants the ball, and Steinberger finds him. Ioze looking for Braun, doesn't get through. Now Bizo will boot this ball back towards midfield. Russin, a bit of a giveaway. Ouimet able to track it down. Which teams are hitting peak performance in the USL? Find out every Monday afternoon when the USLsoccer.com power rankings are released to see where your team sits in the most recent rankings. Bethlehem helping their power rankings as of late. Looking for what would be their 4th win of the season and 1st road points of the season. 3 losses in 3 previous road matches before tonight. Lewis.
Good build.
Plays it across. Couldn't locate Braun. Russin steps up. I'm not sure if that's a foul on Russin.
I think it's just a concern over a head, possible head injury.
So with that, the trainer comes out to take a look at Aiden Apodaca. There's 3 previous road losses, by the way, for Bethlehem Steel: at the Tampa Bay Rowdies, at Louisville City FC, at the Charleston Battery.
3 quality sides.
The sports of the match presented by Honda Manufacturers of Indiana, official automotive sponsor for the Indy 11. While the player is injured, let's tell you about the other full-time scores around the league tonight. At halftime, we had Charleston and Ottawa, a 0-0 draw. The Charlotte Independents beat Toronto FC 2-1. FC Cincinnati puts in 4 goals at Nippert to beat North Carolina FC 4-1. Louisville City FC beats Atlanta United 2-1 down at Slugger Field. And it is full time in St. Petersburg. The Tampa Bay Rowdies 2 and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds 2.
Watch out, those Riverhounds are going to be a bit sneaky here, you know, just grabbing a point here and there, but not putting a loss up. And they're what, in the middle of the pack of that congestion in the Eastern Conference.
4-0-5, the Riverhounds on the season. Saad couldn't make the turn. Aubrey was there to knock the ball away. Again, Apodaca on the counter. On Fawn Williams will watch that ball head towards the end zone for the soccer equivalent of a touchback. Mawar. Ring with the closeout. Russ in the sliding tackle with the ball defeated Derek Jones.
A little sloppy right now. You just got to grab the ball, grab a little bit of possession, find your rhythm again. What's been effective is getting it out wide, creating some opportunities with Lewis and Saad.
Iose has to double back as he and Lewis were not on the same page. Bethlehem content to have let the Indy 11 have possession along the back line right now with a 1-goal advantage. McInerney. Throw in coming. First substitution, by the way, awaits at the next stoppage in play for Bethlehem. Drew Skundrich will be that player that will enter. Ring. Diagonal ball for Venegas. Or Saad, excuse me, but didn't get the touch on that he was looking for. Fans, you can download the official Indy 11 app now to be the first to receive breaking team news and highlights. Available on the app stores for Apple and Android devices. From a tactic standpoint, what might we see differently upcoming for the Indy 11, Brad?
I think with the success you've had in getting the ball wide, where it's broken down is the serve has come without having any defenders in the middle shift. So I'd love to see, once you get it wide, if there's no cover behind that pressing defender, take him off the dribble, see if you can slide another man out of the middle, and then look to put that ball across.
Apodaca heads it back to Herberts.
And maybe that's an opportunity for Juan Guerra. You know, he's a creative player. Get him to break down that first pressing defender.
It has not been about possession this half for Bethlehem. It's been taking advantage of one opportunity. Ball falls to Mawar yet again. Trying to size up a shooting window. Gets it. Fawn Williams punches it away.
Wow.
Follow up. Apodaca got a boot to it. Ruled that an Indy 11 player touched it last. Corner coming.
What a great touch by Mawar.
And here comes the substitution. The 18-year-old Michelle Galina will exit as Drew Skundrich will come on to replace him. Skundrich is a local product. He is from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Played his collegiate soccer at Stanford. Pretty good week for Galina. Got his first professional goal on Wednesday and exits with his team up 1-0.
creative player. I tell you, in tight spaces, he doesn't move the ball like an 18-year-old.
Could be a fine for the Philadelphia Union organization. So both teams now with 2 substitutes remaining. Little traffic in front of Fawn Williams. The Colonel Mets trying to displace. Russin got there first. Bizo will settle. Skundrich's first touch. Wasn't a great one.
Hey, tip your hat to Bethlehem. They do not make it easy to play. They press every ball. They chase down every bit of space.
Iose trying to find Lewis. Bizo provides a pretty good defensive effort. Good flick by Iose.
Good ball.
Good settle by Lewis. McInerney lifts it for Saad. Saad back for McInerney.
What a great goal.
It's not McInerney. My fault, Zach Steinberger. That's your first goal of the season, and we're all tied up in the 71st minute.
What a great goal. Set up by a brilliant ball by Jack McInerney.
Zach Steinberger, 5th different Indy 11 goal scorer this year. His first Indy 11 goal since September of 2015. When in a brace against the Jacksonville Armada, and we're all tied up with 20+ minutes left to go.
Look at that ball right there. Oh my goodness.
And how about that turf bounce read by Steinberger? Put it down, let it bounce up and over Jake McGuire. Now the question is, can you get one more and get the full 3 points if you're the Indy 11? Ben Spees will enter for the Indy 11. He'll replace Nathan Lewis. Spees got the start on Wednesday. Did not go the full distance. So he'll go 90 minutes for the week, if you will. Spees will be brought on as an attacking winger. You felt it was a matter of time for Zach. And Russin will escort that ball across the end line. A point would be nice. 3 would be better for the Indy 11. By the way, this portion of the match presented by Turkish Airlines. Widen your world.
And you do have to be careful with the energy that Bethlehem's playing with. Every back pass to Fawn Williams has been pressed. So you just got to be cautious. Make sure you give him a good ball. Make sure you give him one to his right foot. Don't put it on frame.
Bizo sends it across.
What a touch.
Apodaca couldn't settle it. And Braun holding court in the midfield for the Indy 11. Opportunity here. Spees, right idea. Trying to locate his teammate for the last 2 years in Justin Braun. Iose with applause for the idea. Just a bit too strong from Steinberger.
They were on the same page. I don't think Iose felt that Steinberger could get it through, and he kind of broke his run off a bit.
Right now, I'd say the Southern California guys are set to join us in the postgame show between what Steinberger and Venegas have done so far in tonight's game. That could change. There's another goal in the making here for the Indy 11. Now Herberts off of Iose. Corner coming. The latest the Indy 11 have scored a goal this season was the penalty converted by Iose on the handball against Louisville City FC. which was just shy of the 80th minute 2 weeks ago. Chris Nanko now will come in for Bethlehem Steel FC. As he replaces Aiden Apodaca, and he has put in the miles tonight, has Apodaca. Nanko, a native of Ontario, and played his collegiate soccer at Syracuse.
Substitution, Bethlehem Steel FC. Entering the match 37, Chris Nanko. Leading the match 42, Aiden Apodaca.
Najim. And Ring got there first. Long distance.
Whoa,
Von Williams
my
couldn't
goodness.
get to it. Prosper Chaluya quickly gives the lead back to Bethlehem Steel FC.
What a hit. That had a little Sunni Saad movement in it.
Also had a lot of traffic. Made it tough for Von Williams to see it. Chaluya gets his first goal of the season. 12 different goal scorers this year for Bethlehem Steel FC. So once again, the Indy 11 find themselves in the position of needing to get one to get a point tonight. And frankly, this is kind of the match we expected. We thought this would be at least a goal for each side, if not more. That's not been the way the Indy 11 have played this year, but that's been the way that Bethlehem has played this year. For standing stats of the latest league news, be sure to visit uslsoccer.com. Ouimet advancing it forward. Steinberger. Good looking ball here. Good close out by Chaluya. Venegas couldn't make the turn. Giveaway by Bethlehem. So plenty of time left in this one. Ouimet will reset from midfield. Herber's good read. Giveaway by Ouimet. Herbers has 2 runs in support. Nanko is one, Najim is the other.
Oh, good find.
Herberts.
Just put it a little bit behind him.
Now Bizo, the lift for Herberts. Najim's left foot doesn't get through. Bizo. And Ioze again gives the corner. If this result holds, the Bethlehem Steel would join the Indy 11 with 14 points so far on the season. This is the 9th match of a 34-game schedule for the Indy 11. Russ unable to head that ball out of the 18. Throw in coming here.
Well defended.
Now Spies draws the foul. And then one teammate inadvertently hit another. Trying to direct that ball back towards Von Williams and Chaluya, who just scored the go-ahead goal.
I think in the first half, he's the one that took that ball in the head as well.
He did. Shaluya turned 20 in the month of April.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Well, this also tells you the great job from a scouting perspective that the Philadelphia Union have done. And this is, you know, not every MLS team has a second division side, but this is one of the luxuries that you've got when you do. You can say, all right, we don't think this player is ready for us yet at the Major League Soccer level, but let's see him in training every day. Let's give him regular match time. And this group trains at Talon Energy Stadium, at their complex just outside of Philadelphia, and to play matches in Bethlehem. They then drive an hour north to play their home games, but these players get to train with the first team on a regular basis.
And it's a luxury on two different sides. It's a luxury for the club to have talented, young, pacey, hungry guys in your training environment, and it's a benefit to these players that they get to be in that environment as they grow up as players and as they get to mature and until they're ready for their opportunities on the first team. And this is a talented group.
Venegas looking for Saad. Flicked forward by Braun. Saad remains on side. The lead for Ioze. 3 in the box for the Indy 11. Saad didn't hit the way he wanted it, but he got it right back.
Clever. That's where you break the first one down. You engage that second defender, and that's going to open up some opportunities. I like the thought. I like the thought.
Ben Spees very sportingly puts the ball back on the 6 for the opposing goalkeeper.
Good guy. Helping where he can.
Want to get exclusive video content and photography from across the USL? Make sure to follow the league's official Instagram account at USL Soccer. We mentioned the fact that Indy 11 has more points on the road than they do at home. They've also allowed more goals at home. In fact, all of their allowed goals this season have been in this building. That would be 7 at this stage. Bethlehem looking for more. Moar.
Boy, he is something.
Good read by Ouimet. Keeping his feet. But then a giveaway by Bethlehem Steel FC. And these two teams will see each other again in Bethlehem on July the 26th. That is a Thursday 11:30 a.m. start. Then Bethlehem comes back here on October the 6th. The Indy 11 plays 4 teams 3 times this year: Louisville, Cincinnati, Bethlehem, and Pittsburgh. Steinberger couldn't take the shoulder-to-shoulder challenge. Fawn Williams couldn't take the chance of playing that with his hands. He was just at the edge of the 18. Herber's the target ring. Exquisitely exits the ball from the 18. Opportunity here. Good job by Jones to track it down quickly. Then one right back. And that'll be a foul. Venegas. And that'll be, not sure if a card, just they're going to quickly mark the ball for the spot. Jones wearing the captain's armband. And that would be the definition of a professional foul. Trying to slow down the goal-scoring opportunity.
And clever from Venegas. Once he turned the corner on him and he felt his jersey tug, he put himself in a position where he's going to draw the foul.
But to show you the youth of this team, Jones wearing the captain's armband, he's 21. Jones, a native of Philadelphia.
This is great. The way Venegas has been serving the ball today, this is a good spot for the 11. You got Braun, you got Russin. What's he, 6'6"? We met. A lot of targets. He's got to bend that ball in behind the back line. Let one of the big boys go up and get it.
Russin was a target. That ball up and over the crossbar for a goal kick. Braden, Indy 11's preferred technology and office equipment provider. BradenOnline.com. Braden, technology that drives your business. Ron trying to carve out some space. Fawn Williams will track that ball down before setting up the goal kick, just for the speed of play. Braun with the flick, but rule committed a foul, and given the tenor of this match, that is as light a contact as we have seen for a whistle in this match.
Yeah, I mean, that's one that looked like it had been allowed to play for 85 minutes.
Zach Steinberger, the lone tally for the Indy 11 so far. McInerney couldn't get to the second carom.
Hey, McInerney sometimes plays like he's 7 feet tall, 300 pounds.
Good ball here, Nonco. Right out of line, Fawn Williams. The final 5 minutes plus stoppage time of our second half is brought to you by our Central Indiana Honda dealers, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Indy 11 had hoped for 3. Right now they'd settle for 1. Moir. Fawn Williams is there. Looking for the quick restart and gets it.
You just get no time. They're on every ball. They're on every touch. That's where you've got to adjust your thinking a little bit. You got to move the ball quicker collectively.
Another good read here by Bethlehem. As they launch a counter going forward. Nonco with Chaluya. Now back to Bizo for a little possession here with the 88th minute. Another good closeout.
Smart play.
Indy 11 looking for some late magic to get a point here. All 3 goals in this match coming in the second half. And Ring ruled to have given the foul. I think you're looking at 3 minutes, maybe 4 of stoppage time here at the end of the second half.
And there's time. The 11 is struggling to be able to find any kind of rhythm in the middle of the field and up front. I think you've had some good opportunities that come through McInerney. I think you've got to find 1 or 2 more opportunities in this match where you can find his feet and make a run off of that.
Braun able to keep that ball in play. Now Spies opted to go past Steinberger, went straight for Saad. And Herber's realizing he didn't have much help. Went in reverse, or at least sideways, to buy some more time. Moar couldn't get it past Russet, and that'll be a foul on Moar. And Moar basically being told, get up.
Ladies and gentlemen,
3 minutes of added time here at the end of the half.
minimum of 3 minutes will be added to the end of the
There's a substitute awaiting as well. Take a little more of that time for Bethlehem Steel. Now McInerney, little back heel looking for Steinberger. The two could not connect. By the way, that player is Mike Catalano that's awaiting to enter if given the opportunity for Bethlehem. Ever since that Indy 11 goal to level it, possession has simply not been there.
Yeah, I don't think the 11 have been effectively able to break the press. But it only takes one. It only takes one opportunity.
Ouimet tries to find Ioze. And does, but he can't control the touch to keep it in play. Venegas races back. Herbers beats him to it. Midway through added time. Giveaway here, but
oh my goodness.
A foul is called.
That's the one you're looking for. Bethlehem's moving forward. You pick a ball in the middle of the field. You got a 3-on-2 going to goal with a lot of space.
Seemingly the whistle got a little tighter late in the match. So Santi Moar had the first goal of the 2.
It's impressive performance today.
Will exit.
substitution for Bethlehem Steel FC. Entering the match, number 41, Mike Catalano. Leaving the match, 38.
Indy 11 does have one sub available, but they have called their subs back in. They won't use it at this late stage. Bizo will not be able to track it down. Chance for one more push forward for the Indy 11.
When you look at the mindset of Bethlehem here, it's, you know, they've got a one goal lead, and you know they're not sitting back and allowing the 11 to play the ball in the back. They're still they're giving up the space behind him to take away the space that Indy can build with.
Owain Von Williams says everybody to move down. And he has bought some real estate on the restart. Everybody forward. Ball headed down. Russ in the follow-up. Now past 3 minutes. And that's it. The Bethlehem Steel get their first road points, their first road victory of the season, and the Indy 11 lose for a third time this year, and they have all been in their new home building. Final score tonight from Lucas Oil Stadium: Bethlehem Steel FC 2, Indy 11 1. Back to wrap up our game broadcast when we come back, as you're watching Indy 11 soccer on My Indy TV. Indy 11 Soccer is brought to you by Community Health. Dream big, work hard, finish strong. Community Sports Medicine, official sports medicine provider of the Indy 11. By Honda, proud to be the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. By Turkish Airlines, widen your world. And by The Room Place, get it all at The Room Place. The Brickyard Battalion, as always, standing by for handshakes from members of the Indy 11. Again, they will do so, unfortunately, with no points out of tonight's effort. 2-1 the final score. Bethlehem Steel FC had the better of it. A look at the final stats in this one. Indy 11 had the better of it in terms of possession for the course of the game. But frankly, in the last 20 minutes, I thought that number was more in favor of the Bethlehem Steel.
It was, and it was impactful possessions from them as well. They were dangerous, dynamic in the attacking third. I thought, some of the giveaways from the 11 in the middle of the field helped facilitate Bethlehem's attack. But yeah, it was a tough one.
The Indy 11 will be next at home against the Charleston Battery. Again, that is on Wednesday, May 30th. After tonight, they are off for 8 days when they next play the New York Red Bulls 2 in New Jersey. Stick around. Our Central Indiana Honda Dealers postgame show comes your way next as you're watching Indy 11 Soccer. You're on your home for the Indy 11, My Indy TV.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.
Back inside Lucas Oil Stadium for the Central Indiana Honda Dealers postgame show. Indy 11 fall at home this evening to the Bethlehem Steel FC by a score of 2-1. Greg Rakestraw, Brad Hodder, and as always, we start the postgame show by talking to the head coach of the Indy 11 in Martin Rennie. Martin, obviously we talked to you right at the end of halftime. What did you see that you weren't hoping to see? What went wrong in half number 2, Coach?
I just think the whole game was below standard and below par. I think, I look at our fans tonight and how much noise they made and how they supported us the entire game. And I want to thank them for that and apologise for that performance, because we were nowhere close to the standard that they brought to the game. And I just felt like our passing was off. I felt like our movement was off. I felt like the quality that we've come, been seeing quite a lot here wasn't there. We missed some good chances. And then we've lost a goal, which was disappointing, especially the second one where we didn't shut down on a set play. So there's just so many disappointing moments in that game and so many things that have to improve. And yeah, it's one of those games where I really, especially coaching at home, I can't think of many times in the career that I've coached where I feel like so disappointed with what I saw, and that's something that we've not really seen with this team. Although there's not always been good results, there have been good ones, there have been disappointing ones. Tonight we're standing at a point where if you win, you're like right up there at the top, and if you don't, then you're starting to think, oh well, we're not doing nearly as well as we should be. But today's performance, I just thought, was way below the standard that I would expect.
In terms of you know, distance of matches played, so to speak, Bethlehem played on Wednesday as well. But how many of the mistakes tonight do you kind of chalk up to, again, you guys have been so busy over the last 4 weeks and had so much travel. How much of that was a factor in tonight's game?
I mean, I think at this point you don't want to be making excuses like that, and I don't want to do that. I think that, of course, there is some factor in that, and I think that when passing and movement and things are so off, then you have to think, right, there must be a little bit of a reason for that, and that could definitely be part of it. As you know as well, we're missing a lot of very key players, and I think tonight maybe it caught up with us a little bit. But we've got to make sure that we put out a team that can get a result regardless of that, and we have been doing that. But we do need to get our guys back to full fitness and get everybody out there and really get after it. That was a disappointment tonight. I think we let our fans down tonight, and we're going to have to make up for it. The good thing is we're in a decent position, and we've got a lot of games to make up for it. But tonight was definitely one we want to put behind us fast.
Philosophically, you know what Bethlehem is going to do, but when they rotate players as they do from Philadelphia and you know, their lineup changes, what kind of challenges does that present you in putting a game plan together and a scout?
Well, I think obviously for a game like this, you've only got a day to really go between when you return to playing the next game. But we did know, you know, what to expect, and I think that we did know as well we would get chances in the game. But one of the issues that we've been having is not taking those chances, and we had a couple of good ones early on and didn't manage to put them away. And I think that affects the game quite a lot because they're quite dangerous on the counter-attack. They've got good pace, and so when they scored the first goal, then we're stretched out trying to catch the next one. And so that was definitely part of what we expected from the game, but we have to do a better job of keeping the ball. I thought we were so rushed in our possession. We had it and we would give it away and then they would counter. And also when we get chances, we have to be composed. That might be, you know, composed on the cross or composed on the shot or composed on the play around the edge of the box. But that's a big thing that has to improve, and I'm sure it can. It's not something that we can't improve on, and obviously we've seen signs of what this team can do, but tonight was certainly far off what it has been, and it needs to change.
On a positive note, historic night for Brad Ring. Can you talk a little bit about what he's meant to this team?
Yeah, he's meant a lot. It's great for him to get to the milestone that he has, and it was fantastic to see the fans recognising him and his contribution to the club. And yeah, I think as well that makes it even more disappointing the way the game went, because we would have loved to have given him a more memorable night. But he's done great for the club. He's played in lots of positions. He's been through a lot. And, you know, he's going to help us a lot as we go forward.
Martin, thanks for the time. We'll catch up with you again real soon.
Okay, thanks.
Head coach of the Indy 11 in Martin Rennie, and we'll talk to a couple of players during the course of the post-game show as well. And in fact, one of them is putting the headsets on right now. Our first chance to talk to him after a match. Unfortunately, it's after a loss, but I really was impressed with the things that he did tonight, both from a service standpoint and closing down defensively. It is right back Kevin Venegas that is joining us now. Kevin, again, I thought you had some good parts of the individual game, but clearly, as a defender, you're not happy allowing 2 second-half goals. Overall, what's going through your mind after a 2-1 loss?
Yeah, it's clearly frustrating, especially playing at home. I mean, it doesn't really matter who's in the back line. Letting two goals at home is, you know, makes it really difficult to win. That being said, I thought they were pretty soft goals. I think we talked about at halftime. A lot of their chances were coming off our mistakes, and you know, it kind of just kept going in the second half. I thought we turned off for a little bit, and you know, a wide open sitter on top of the 18, and then another one off a throw-in. Stuff like that. Just, you know, when those goals are going in against us, it's going to be hard to win.
After 6 years of Minnesota United, 5 in the NASL, 1 in Major League Soccer, just so far, how's your tenure gone in Indianapolis from your point of view?
My team's great. To be honest, this is one of my favorite teams I've ever played for. All the guys get along. The coaching, everyone treats each other with respect. You don't always get that on every team you play for, so it's a easy environment to improve and you know, get some wins and enjoy you know, another year.
You talked a little bit about the mistakes and some of the turnovers that's uncharacteristic for this team. You're so effective getting forward and being dangerous as you join the attack. How much does your game change when there are those turnovers and some of those mistakes are, especially with a team that counters as well as Bethlehem does?
Right. So I think with me attacking like I do, sometimes it's a chance, it's a risk. You know, chasing the game like that when we're down, I start taking a little bit more chances. Going forward. I don't think I'm 90 minutes fit yet, to be honest. And the second half, I think it showed. I kind of stopped going forward as much as I probably should have. But, you know, I'd start leaving gaps in the back when we're chasing the game. But, you know, in a perfect world where we're winning and, you know, I can pick and choose the right moments to go forward. And that's one of the most difficult parts of the game is picking, you know, when you have time, when you have space, when you dribble, all that kind of stuff. So I think it'll come for me individually as I get more fit. But, a little disappointed, but I think it'll be all right.
To that point, you've got, I think, 6 different players right now dealing with injuries. That's not even counting you. Right. Talking about coming back from the thigh injury that cost you a good chunk of the first month of the season. So with that being said, how nice is it to know you don't play again now for 8 days? Yeah,
I mean, it's been a battle this whole preseason and first couple of games of the year. It was actually my hamstrings, but yeah, I mean, it's obviously not how I wanted to start the year. I've always taken pride in my fitness, and I think everybody as a professional, you know, takes a lot of responsibility and trying to stay fit. But you can't help it. Sometimes you just get injured, and it's part of the career. So we have a good staff here to get everyone healthy, and hopefully we can get everyone back soon and start rallying.
Kevin, go get some rest. Thanks for the time after a tough loss. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Kevin Venegas, again, Southern California native. Another one, the goal scorer in tonight's game, will join us after this quick timeout. That being Butler grad Zach Steinberger. We'll talk with him when we come back as we continue on the Central Indiana Honda Dealers postgame show. Back in downtown Indianapolis on a beautiful Saturday night. It wasn't a beautiful result, but there was a goal for the Indy 11 and a first of the season. And there's a really cool mission that happens every time he scores a goal this year. So for that reason alone, we hope we see more of them. It's our buddy Zach Steinberger that joins us now. Zach, kind of walk us through the play, what you saw, and obviously had to be happy with the finish.
Oh, I mean, yeah, we had a good run of build-up play. I believe it was found Suni's feet. He cut it back to me, and I pretty much just drove my foot through center back's foot. And to be honest, I don't know how it went in, but it went in. And it was a great feeling. And obviously, with my collaboration with Green Bean Delivery, 100 pounds of fresh produce will go through second helpings and will get donated to people in need. So that's awesome. From a soccer perspective, I thought that was going to be a huge moment for us in the game to tie it up and push for a second to get a game winner, and unfortunately it went the other way tonight.
Just kind of, obviously, that moment was the highlight of the game and was the highlight of the second half, but kind of as the second half wore on, it looked like possession kind of swung back towards Bethlehem Steel FC. Overall, just kind of your thoughts as to what went wrong for the team in half number 2.
Yeah, you know, we started off really fast, which was our goal. We wanted to put them on their heels in the first 5-10 minutes, and I thought we did that. I thought we looked really dangerous. We were winning second balls. We were up in their half for the majority of the first half, and the second half, I thought we started well again like we started the first. Unfortunately, we just kind of faded. Obviously, the second goal went in, and we changed things a little bit to push for a second. And when you're pushing, you know, sometimes it goes the other way against you. And you know what I'll say is going forward. I mean, the fans, they deserve better. We have to be better, and we will be better in the future.
So talk about that. There's so much positivity around you that, you know, we know it from your first run here. We certainly know it when we talked to Jacksonville last year. They raved about the positivity that you bring. Here in this game, the goal brings such energy and positivity to the team. You know, it's a down moment right now. So what does a team leader like you do through this week in training? I mean, some of it is just organic in who you are, but what are the buttons you can press this week to make sure that the energy and the vibe stays positive?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's so important to have strong leadership. For myself, the way I lead in the locker room is by example. We've got vocal leaders. We've got guys who lead by bringing energy. We've got guys who lead by bringing positivity. And so we're not at a lack of leadership on this team at all. So we've got the leaders. We've got the experience. We've got the talents for sure. You know, it's just putting it all together for 90 minutes and doing it consistently. You know, we're getting these, you know, win, loss. I don't think we've had 2 wins in a row yet. So it's, you know, it's when we can finally put all the pieces together. I mean, this is going to be a really special team. You know, it's taken longer than I think anyone really expected to get that streak going. But, you know, like I said, we've got the leadership, we've got the positivity, and we've got the energy and the talent. So, you know, it's just put it together. And once we do that, you know, we're going to go on a run. And, you know, it's about peaking at the right time, right? And we don't want to peak now. It's not important to peak now. It doesn't matter if we win 6 games in a row right now, right? It matters if we win 6 or 7 games in a row at the end.
Sounds good. Zach, before we let you go, you played with him 3 years ago, now a teammate again. Your thoughts about Brad Ring hitting the 100 mark a couple of weeks ago and just kind of the ceremony and the response that he got from the crowd this evening?
Oh, I mean, there's no one more deserving. I mean, Brad Ring bleeds, you know, Indy blue. I mean, he's a guy that took me under his wing my rookie year when I came on loan here. He's a guy that just has an unbelievable engine, work ethic, you know, just love for the game, and you know, he's an incredible leader. And you know, to see the fans on their feet for minutes just applauding the fact that he's, you know, got to 100 games and represented this club with nothing but, you know, absolute integrity. No one's more deserving.
Hey, Zach, thanks for the time, buddy. Go rest up. We'll see you again real soon.
Thanks, guys.
Zach Steinberger, again, kind enough to join us. Thanks to Kevin Venegas, as well as Martin Rennie, Greg Rakestraw, as well as Brad Hodder with you here on My Indy TV. You can tell this one stings a little bit for this club right now.
Yeah, it does. I think even though it's the 3rd in 8 days and you've got all those excuses that can lay in the air, this is one that, you know, I think everybody felt that they were going to pull some points from. Yeah. I don't think that they handled the pressure well. And, you know, Martin talked about it in the post game about how they just weren't sharp and, you know, they're disappointed in some of the, and you don't know, is that the injuries, the fatigue, the travel catching up with this team, or was it the pressure and the energy that Bethlehem put on the field tonight?
Yeah, take nothing away from Bethlehem Steel FC. They were very impressive. They scored twice in the second half. Zach Steinberger had the only goal for the Indy 11. Let's show them again to you now. And again, you know, kind of players kind of alluded to, Kevin Venegas said it, I thought they were soft goals we allowed in the second half.
Yeah, it was. You looked at a lot of the opportunities that came in and around the 18, and it was the 11 were clearing the immediate pressure, but not clearing the entire danger. So it was a guy nicking the ball 5 yards, but it was still winding up in a dangerous spot for Bethlehem.
The turf bounce benefits Zach Steinberger up and over Jake McGuire, but that lead or even a draw was short-lived. Prosper Chaluya with the game-winning goal for Bethlehem Steel FC. as they have 4 wins this season, half of those coming in the last 4 days. More of the Central Indiana Honda Dealers postgame show comes your way next. The Ring family, as well they should, enjoying a little extra quality time on the pitch. Brad now the all-time leader in franchise appearances, 103 after tonight. Bethlehem Steel the winner by a score of 2-1. Elsewhere around the USL's Eastern Conference, more high-scoring affairs other than Charleston and Ottawa Fury. Again, Charleston Battery, the next opponent the Indy 11 will face in this building on Wednesday, May 30th. FC Cincinnati atop now the Eastern Conference with 20 points as they score 4 against North Carolina FC, including an opening tally by a longtime Carolina Railhawk, the North Carolina FC player, Nazmi Abeldawi. Pittsburgh doesn't give up many goals, give up 2, but they scored 2 tonight to level with Tampa Bay at Al Lang Stadium, 2-2. Charlotte Independence got a victory, and Louisville City FC gets a late victory as well. The Indy 11 currently fall to 7th in the Eastern Conference with 14 points and 6 points out of the top spot. But folks, it's a long season. They got 25 games left to go. The next one in 8 days against New York Red Bulls 2. Final thoughts when we come back. Back for the final time. That, of course, is at the Hall of Fame Museum at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I made it from there to here in about 25 minutes, 6 o'clock hour. Thought there was some pretty impressive speed on display by yours truly. Back now inside Lucas Oil Stadium and back for a final time in the broadcast booth. Greg Rakestraw and Brad Hodder with you. Brad, final thoughts on this one?
Well, I got to tip my hat to Brad Ring. 100 matches with the club is impressive, but the way the guy plays, too. The only real injury was the broken foot in San Antonio, and he still tried to play through that. I mean, he still played 10 or so minutes on it. So for him to reach that accomplishment and that level with the manner in which he plays is just exponentially more impressive.
Even with the hard work he puts in and the rest of the guys on the team, they could use some time off. It has been a pretty brutal pace over the last 3 weeks. They've got 8 days until their next match at New York Red Bulls 2. Again, that on May 27th. The pace slows in June. Just 4 matches in the month of June. Then it picks right back up in July and August.
Yeah, and not only does that help with some of the healing, but also as a professional athlete, there's a rhythm. You do this on this day. You do this at this time. And when you can get into that rhythm, you're just more comfortable. And June allows that.
You see a lot of 2s on that schedule. Really, today you saw the Philadelphia Union 2, if you will, in Bethlehem Steel. Don't mistake those 2s as JV sides. Bethlehem, very impressive tonight.
Very clearly. I mean, there are guys coming down from the first team to get minutes.
The Indy 11 play next at Red Bulls 2 next Sunday. It is an afternoon matchup. Next time we are back here, it is Wednesday, May 30th. Be sure to join us then. For Brad Hart and our entire Tupelo Raycom crew, this is Greg Rakestraw. Thank you for watching Indy 11 Soccer here on My Indy TV.